Hi, yay. This is a short class to do on its own or even before a sculpt class, just to kind of start to activate some muscles and feel good in your body. So let's begin, and we'll just start on our back for a moment, laying down. Take a moment to just arrive on your mat. You might hug knees in, arms to the side, maybe rock the knees right to left for a couple moments. And so for this class, we're actually just going to tune into our body and use that sort of as our symphony, listening into our breath, listening into the way that we feel. So start to notice your feet on the ground and give yourself some traction, hands to thighs. Take a breath in. Push on the exhale, just give a little bit of a resistance. You don't have to think about that, but just feeling the space around your sacrum. Feel your belly. And we'll hug our right knee in. Just feels good to be on our back. It feels good for me. And hug the left knee in. So we'll practice a little bit of activation in the belly, in the core area. And this doesn't take too much. So place your hands on the low belly. And what we'll do is we'll just notice this sort of cinching in effect without a grip, without that kind of thing. So it's a little more subtle. For your back, you don't need to glue the low back to the ground, because what happens there is that there's a bit of a over tail tuck. So just kind of a neutral spine, but keep all that hugging in. Try to relax your shoulders and neck. Take a breath in. I have my toes flexed and my heels digging down. You don't have to do that. That just kind of helps me wrap this core area in, hugging it in and keeping the length at the same time. So once you have all that, lift your right knee up, and you could just stay there. That actually is still, that's a little bit of work for the deeper core muscles. And now lift the left knee up, and we'll just do that again a couple times. So trying to keep everything the same. So what might happen, lift the right knee, so you'll especially notice that as you lift the left knee, yeah, your belly will want to stick forward. Just keep that hugged in and do it again. Right knee up. Notice that the shoulders and the elbows start to grip. Do the other side. So left knee up, feel that? It seems so basic, it seems so simple, right? But if you keep all of that wrapping in, and now lift the right knee up, whoo, left heel down, right heel down, and just do that a few times. So for me, and I'm not sure, it might be similar for you, as I lift my left knee up, I can maintain it. But now as I add my right knee, I notice some other things trying to take over. I notice my belly sticking, I notice I'm trying to compensate. So just trying, it doesn't have to be perfect, of course, but just trying to keep all that in the belly wrapping in. A couple more. And now we'll see, what would it take to just keep the knees roughly, if it's too much, bring the knees closer to you. That's fine too. So farther away, harder. It's going to be a little harder. And we'll lower one heel, lift it up, and lower the other heel and lift it up. And you're still trying to keep everything else the same. If you don't want to have your hands on the belly, you don't have to. When I teach this in the class, often I'm seeing kind of this kind of thing, like a bicycle, and that's fine too. But if you really want to be precise with this, then get in there, and it can make the most deep feeling in your deep belly, especially with breath. You'll just kind of keep going slow with it. And what you want to do to make harder is actually bring the heel farther away. For me, I don't need to make it much harder. Notice if the shoulders and the neck start to take over. Meaning, or start to try to help out, and just try to relax that. Notice the low belly, and we'll add breath. Inhale. On the exhale, just lower it slowly and bring it back up. Inhale. Lower one heel, just taking turns. And a couple more. Where we're wanting to notice the feeling is in the low belly. The low belly. And try not to arch the back. Try not to stick the belly up. 3 more. Feel your breath. So what we'll do next in 2 is hug your knees in. You might feel it in the legs, hip flexors a little. And we'll practice breath retention. So take an inhale all the way. And on your exhale, push your hands into your thighs and attempt to hollow the breath at the end of the breath. So And you're trying to keep it all the same. So we're gonna breathe in. And it's okay if you're just breathing, that's enough. One more, breathe in. At the very end of the exhale, see if you can hold no breath. So now breathe, no breath. Take a sip when you need. And windshield wiper, okay. So what we were going for there is a little bit of a core activation with a little nollie practice. Hug the knees into your chest, rock and roll. Maybe one or two, oh, it feels good. So if that feels good for you, keep going. Otherwise, just roll to your side and come on up to all fours. We'll stretch out through our body, through our back. Just take a moment in child's pose. Find hands and knees. Couple cat-cows to rinse through the body. You might already notice, wow, a little activation, a little fire, a little heat in that belly. Maybe add some hip, some neck. Okay, so next we'll start to see if we can turn on the lower part of our glute maximus, the lower part of our butt cheek. So we'll keep the left knee on the ground. You can double up your mat if you want extra padding for your knee. That's sometimes nice. And you'll lift the right heel up, and we're just going slow, and we're gonna add a little pulse. You can point or flex your foot, either one. But the trick with this one is, again, now this isn't bad or wrong, but this isn't going to specifically isolate the area we're targeting. So you're gonna want to feel the belly, feel the push of the floor, keep all that, and then just see if you can notice the sensation in the lower, specifically where you sit, your sit bone on the right side. So if you're feeling it more in the left hip, that might mean that's your hip stabilizer, and you might be a little dipped out or something, or you might just need some strength there. But put your notice on the right lower butt cheek as we pulse. So again, I'm not doing this kind of thing. I'm just little pulses. Find full range for 5 of them. So the right knee's gonna come up and down. And again, I'm not doing much with anything else in my body besides bringing that right heel up for like a donkey kick, focusing on the butt hamstring connection. Hold it at your end range. See if you can just kiss your heel to your butt. Use your belly to support. You could point, you can energize your foot any way you want. Hold the heel to the butt and just notice the belly push, the hug, belly hug, the hands push. See if we can just energize that and draw some big circles for the hip. Just make it kind of feel nice, hip circle. Don't have to overdo anything. Bring the right foot to the outside of the hands and take a stretch. Reach your right arm back and grab your foot. Hamstring, little hamstring. So this class can be done on its own again, or it can be a preparation for work, for sport, for a sculpt class. And we'll find a squat at the top of the mat. Take some, what I'd like you to try here is keep your belly on your thigh the best you can. So you might bend your knees a lot and try to keep it as you work your legs to straight. So for me, my range of motion right now in my hamstrings is that I could do this, but what I'm wanting to try to see if we can keep our belly really attached to our thigh and just see where it goes. It might only be an inch. The range of motion might only be 2 inches. So just see, play with that. Flossing through the hamstrings, noticing where we feel. Take a breath in, exhale, and one more. Find a stretch. Roll up to stand, nice and slow. Lift through the arms, add a chest opener, maybe a side stretch. Just kind of let your body feel good. And so much of the time, I think, working out or moving, sometimes it feels like we have to do it. Come to a bow, make your way to high plank. And I think that what's more fun is kind of once we get to a point where we feel the effects and we want to do it. And we long to, not just to get it done, but to feel it now. So feel your plank position, and maybe you're on the knees. All we'll do next is scapular push-ups. So that's gonna be shoulder blades squeeze in and apart. I don't even think push-up is a helpful term because we're not doing push-ups. We're just squeezing the shoulder blades together and apart together and apart to find some this is a small movement. Find some activation through one of our shoulder stabilizers that helps support our shoulders. 3, keep going. 2, you could, if it's hard, you need more, you do it off of the knees. And 1, take a child's pose. You did it. Okay, so let's do the other side. This time the right knee will stay on the ground or on the mat. So you might double it up, palming earth. Lift your left heel up. Find that wrap again, find the chest. And just what I mean by that is just the plumb line. So you're neutral spine and we're pulsing the left heel up. So I'm not here, which isn't bad. I'm not here, which isn't bad either. But what we're doing right here is trying to focus on the left lower butt cheek where we sit. Because that area goes dormant and we sit on it. And it goes to sleep a lot. So if we can activate, get that back, get that fire back, work from there, it could help our back and help all sorts of things. So we're just pulsing a little pulse. Notice this side compared to the other. And personally for me, the pulse is I feel it kind of faster than the full range, just getting that end range there. But also sometimes I grip my back. Sometimes I start to clench other things. So focus on that left butt. 3, pulsing. 2, just seeing if you can feel fire there, like a little, hi, left butt cheek. How are you? Full range. So it's a little break, yeah, when you bring the knee down and then bring it up. So you might just feel that range of motion and noticing that left heel push up to the sky. Doesn't matter how high it goes, because if it goes higher, then you might just get too much extension in the back and not really be targeting the area we're focusing on. So it might even be a really small range of motion. 5. And just as we're doing this, we're not just doing it to get it done, to look some way or to do something. We're feeling the capacity of our brilliant, amazing body. 3. We'll hold in 2. Yeah. Okay. Heel to butt. So you're just going to kind of, it's such a small movement. Like you're just trying to get your heel to your butt. For me, I'm starting to feel it in my right butt. So I'm kind of dipping there. So hug outer hips in. Right butt is going to feel it, the stabilizers. But feel that heel to the butt. Hold it. Maybe you can feel the hamstring now. It barely looks like I'm doing anything here, but I feel it. Do you guys? So we'll do a circle. And this kind of just lubricates things up. Keeping all that action, circle the other way. Massaging through our hip joint. And good job. Step that left foot forward. Left arm back, and you might find your quad stretch. If this isn't available, the lunge is nice. Enough hamstring stretch. Left one. Find a squat position. One more time with that hamstring floss. So we're gliding out these tissues here, and we'll see if we can keep the knees, center of knee over the center of the ankle. Sometimes they'll turn in or maybe out. Keep the belly on the thigh the best you can. Finding the back of the legs. 3. And find your back. Maybe interlace. Just let it feel good. Ragdoll. Roll on up to stand. Lifting through the arms. Taking a heart opener here. Some sort of chest. Bow. Meet in high plank. Last round of scapular activation. So So what I'm doing here is I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together and then apart. Come closer so you might be able to see better. So my shoulder blades are going together and apart. So finding that range of motion. My arms are staying straight. You could do this without bearing weight. It's a lot easier without bearing weight, but that still is working pretty good. You could do this on all 4s. 3 more. All 4s. Just the shoulders. It's little. I'm making it look bigger than it is. It's a little movement. Maybe knees back. High planks harder. 3, 2. Child's pose. Let's make our way to lay down on our back. And just notice this brief class that we activated a couple things in our shoulders, our belly, our core, and our lower part of our butt. A little hamstring as well. Hamstrings. So just take a moment to feel that. Some windshield wipers. Happy baby. And we're not even thinking about this, we're just tuning into our body. Knees in, drop the knees to the left, and work the right arm away. Let's drop our knees the other way. Just sighing it out. Come back to center. Now, if you wanted to take a Shavasana here, or if you want to use this as your preliminary to Sculpt, so you can really work more vigorously, you can. But either way, we'll just close with the breath in and an exhale. Thanks, you guys, so much for joining me. Namaste.